Nice to
Well,
meet
we're here today. We're here to for the Brightside Film Festival in Jersey City. We're going to talk about your film Alone Together.
you. Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank
so my favorite films are the ones that tell a story in a short period of time. So
I
how
think
did you
that's
come
the
up?
time we're in right now. These like short form stories. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
How did
sorry.
you come up with the idea concept for it?
Um, it was interesting because I like to play with filters in
Hmm.
Instagram and TikTok, and I use that filter. That there's a filter on all of the people in there except the one girl who's
Hmm.
disgusted by me. But so yeah, so I came across this filter and I really liked it. And I was using it a lot, and then I was having this idea about. Um, this is during the time of Ahmaud Arbery's death and George Floyd, and me questioning why has this been going on for so long, and coming to this like idea that maybe we're not seen as human, and so now not just African American people, but Asian people, Latino people, Latinx. So I was just starting to wonder, like maybe people just don't see us as humans.
Hmm.
And then that filter, and I was feeling at the time in deep despair, and also feeling like I wasn't being seen, and just wanting to find community
Yeah.
um, within everything that we were dealing with in the world, because this was post pandemic. Well,
Yeah.
we're still in a pandemic, but
Yeah.
it was the height of the pandemic.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I just started to play with that filter and seeing how I can turn the phone horizontal, and then I just wrote this story in the form of a commercial. Like we see these dating commercials all the time.
Yeah.
I'm an improviser. I'm the Second City graduate, and so we just make something out of nothing based on
Yeah.
a suggestion.
Hmm.
And so I just had these ideas, and then I just sat down and wrote the script, and then just started filming it. It's like, oh well, let me go to the park and capture this, and I was just learning how to edit as well. I
Oh
just
yeah.
program, so it all just came together with all of these skills and the ideas, and kind of having this social commentary to share with the world or anyone who feels alienated.
Hmm.
Really, it could speak
Yeah.
to anyone. Yeah,
Yeah. That's what I like about it. Could be an overall thing too. Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
Sure.
Absolutely. And so you shot it on a phone?
I use between my iPhone
Hmm.
11 Pro
Mm.
and my GoPro.
Wow.
Yeah, those two. I'm an actor by
Hmm.
trade, and we're always being told that we should just start creating. But what does
Yeah.
that mean? And it just sounds really hard to do when you don't have skills.
Hmm.
But thankfully, Mark Duplass, I don't know if you saw his speech at, I think it was 2015 South by Southwest, where he talked about the cavalry isn't coming,
Hmm.
and basically just telling people, this room of filmmakers, that you do the thing, and then you think Hollywood's gonna come and they're gonna lift you up, and they're not. And
No.
even when the thing happens and it happens on this grand scale, it's still, they're not coming. So you might as well just make your own films.
Yeah.
And the biggest takeaway that I took from watching that, was really inspiring when I watched it, when he talked about how he and Jay, his brother, were just feeling in this space of, you know, it's more so Jay, because he was an actor, or he was the actor, and he was saying, I just feel like I can't get any headway, nobody's
Mm.
interested or whatever. And so they just started to, Mark said, well, let's just write our own stuff. And so
Yeah.
they had a camera with a broken pixel in the center of the lens, and they
Yeah.
filmed something based on, he asked Jay, what's happening in your life today? He's like, well, I tried to, record my voice recording. You know how back in the day we would actually take hours to do a voicemail
Yeah.
on our Air. And he was like, and I couldn't really get it right. So they did a
Mm.
film about that and just started submitting it. And I think it got into Sundance. It was like one of the major ones. But the
Wow.
main thing that he said is like, just create your films. You're going to
Yeah.
be bad. It's okay, but you'll get better over time, and submit them to festivals.
Yeah.
And that's how you meet more filmmakers and you grow your network. And that really spoke to me, because it made me feel like, instead of being an actor who's waiting for the phone to ring, which I kind of do, but not really.
Hmm.
But this is a more emboldened way for me to not even like when the calls come, then I can stop what I'm doing, put that on pause, go do the auditions, go book the role, whatever, but then come back to my project that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you do this often where you could do like the shorts and you come up with the concept and create it?
Yeah. So, at the top of the pandemic, I was in a sketch show at Second City. It was a
Hmm.
children's show, but everything stopped abruptly. And I was a part of the Bob Curry, Second City Bob Curry Fellowship, which is basically a fellowship that's been given, I think, for the past 10 years or more.
No.
Um, to BIPOC players. And so we had did that in 2019, and there were 16 of us, and we were
Mm.
trying to find ways to continue to perform. But once the program is over, everybody gets busy. It's just like any show. And so once the pandemic hit, I wanted to do an Instagram challenge using toilet paper, making a parody out of that. And so I pitched it to the 16 people. 10 people said that they could be on the meeting, and then we wound up with 7 total, and one person just cavalierly, he owns an improv theater in San Francisco called Made Up Theater, and he's like, guys, improv is really bad on Zoom because the latency and all these things, and I was like, that's a web series.
Hmm.
So I knew I had to write it, so I just like wrote up like a kind of like a pitch, and then I sent it to them. And from there, they were on board. So then we would meet. We've been meeting every Thursday since 2020.
Wow.
And we did a 10-part web series called Saved by the Improv, because improv had saved us during the pandemic. But then after that came March, and I said, well, how about if we do March Content Madness, where every day in March we take a suggestion from the audience and we get 4 of them, one for each week. But since there's 7 of us, we can each take a day, and we could just do massive content. So that's what we wound up doing. And then we had 28 pretty much like independent short films, kind of like what I have
Wow.
here, because we
Yeah.
were quarantined. And then once that was done, it was like, okay, we have all this stuff, now what? And I was like, let's launch a film festival. So
Mm.
so we launched a film festival called
Oh, wow.
Diversity Higher Comedy Short Film Festival, and we did March Content Madness again this year. So we'll be doing our festival at the end of the year. So
Oh, where is it? Is it going to be online, or is it at a place?
it's on our
and
website. Yeah, it's Diversity Higher, as in HIGHER, because we're lifting things higher, elevating the stories and the craft. But diversityhighercomedy.com, and that's where you'll find all of our information, and all of our sketches are there from last year. And if you want to see more current, YouTube, diversityhighercomedy.com, or
Oh, wow.
Diversity Higher Comedy. Yeah.
How's it going out there right now?
It's starting to lift here in terms of industry. The industry will always find a way. For me, I make the bulk of my work is in television commercials, and that's how I really earn a living. So that didn't stop during the pandemic.
Yeah, they find a way to do those, right?
Found a way to do those, and I actually shot one in my home. So it's opening back up, but there's still some precautions. Well, there's still, we have mandates, we have precautions, but yeah.
Well, now we got monkeypox in New York over here.
That's right. Yeah.
Another one.
We'll see what's happening and what's new on the horizon.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I've just found a new way to create on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And I know a lot of people during the pandemic were discovering that. And
absolutely.
So it's really cool, all the technology and all the new things we can do.
It's a wonderful time to be a creative. I will definitely say that. Even having our time back was a gift. And you could probably attest to this also, but there's all these people that in the industry, and you want to meet with them, but everybody's busy, so you never have that time to grab lunch or a coffee. And so I was like, oh, this is the perfect time where I could talk to these people. And I always wanted to do a podcast. So I did this video podcast on YouTube called Creatives in Quarantine. And I just talked to people from all walks of creativity. Are you able to create during this time? And if so, what are you doing? And there was a lot of conversations around pivoting and growing the thing that was on the back burner, because that's what we tend to do sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love podcasting. That's my favorite thing. I
Oh,
work for a podcast studio right here in New Jersey.
oh,
So
really? Where's the
yeah,
studio?
it's called the Shared Universe. It's in Red Bank, New Jersey, and there's
Yeah,
another one in Homedale, New Jersey, and it's
got you.
by the guys from the Comic Book Men show from AMC.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so
Okay.
they Kevin Smith and all those guys. So they we're all local Jersey boys, and then yeah, so we have a lot of people on that network. So it's a shared universe, and they're traveling all around the country all the time, going to Comic Cons and things like that. So
Yeah, we just had that here. Yeah, I'm from New York originally. I'm from the Bronx.
yeah,
Uh,
nice, yeah.
and when I like right when I moved here in 2005, my parents moved to Union, New Jersey.
Oh
So
yeah, I know that way. Yeah, I know you. Yeah.
when I come back, and I lived in Jersey City for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I love Jersey City.
I love Jersey City. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great place. It's it's like my second home. I'm from down the shore, but I always go to Jersey City.
And I lived in South Jersey. I lived in Lindenwold. So
Okay, yeah.
like little stops, little pit stops. My parents are good in Union. They've been there for about 15 years. So
Oh yeah, it's a great area.
Mhm.
And it's close to New York. You could go,
It
it's not
is.
far,
Yeah,
and you
which is
don't have to be in New York.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I like that. Yeah, and in Jersey City, we're right across the water, so we have a lot of people from New York and New Jersey coming to the festival. So it'll be really cool.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I love about Jersey City, because I was in the Northeast Bronx, so it would take me an hour and some
Mm.
change on the train, and it would take me 15 minutes
Oh
on
yeah.
hit Jersey City. I couldn't be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. That's great. So are you working anything right now? Another type of short?
I have a it actually might be a feature. It's in my head.
Oh.
It's still percolating. So when I get, the blips of the story, I have a database where I just write, put it there so that when I'm ready to really sit down and write it, I have that. Um, right now, speaking of podcasts, I started another podcast, but this is an
Oh.
actual podcast. The other one was a video podcast,
Yeah.
and it's called Acting Lessons Learned. And so it's a bi-weekly, basically like a short story type of diary of my experience, the things that I've learned as an actor on the way. I believe in artistic autonomy. I believe in empowerment, and it's my way of giving back to other actors who are out here trying to figure stuff out, um, and to demystify the process. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that's what's got me right now.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's great. I wanted to go out to LA over the summer, but I got a million things going on. So I teach in a film in a high school here.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah.
That's amazing. How long have you
So
been doing that?
5 years. So
Wow.
I
What do you?
love it. I teach actually television film class. It's mostly like a
Oh,
film class.
that's what I wish we had that.
I have six classes of it. I have two advanced and then four regular, and it's six
Oh, wow.
classes
And this is high school?
in high school. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's kind of a growing thing in New Jersey. It's a few other schools are starting to get it, but
mhm.
it's rising. But
Okay.
they kind of took place of like the old wood shop and the old
Yes.
metal
Well,
shop, and they didn't know what to do with the rooms, so they're like, hey, how about TV film?
well, yes, perfect. We got plenty of people to teach that.
Yeah, so it's good, and then New Jersey is doing pretty well with film. All of a sudden, it's growing and growing. They're putting a studio in Bayonne
Really?
and
What studio?
Lionsgate.
Now, I thought
Lionsgate.
they opened something in Yonkers. Are
They
they
might
doing?
have they might have done Yonkers too as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that,
this is more further northern. Ah, that's
and then
wonderful.
down here in Eatontown where I live, the Netflix is coming in.
Oh, that's great.
So it's and then there's like four, New Jersey, at least like 4 or 5 films being filmed right now in this area, which is like, what is going on? It's great.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's
Yeah,
exciting to bring those jobs to New Jersey, and New Jersey is so rich. It's
they
huge.
have. Yeah, you think it's a small little state, but it's got everything. We got
Yeah,
go from you go from the sandy beaches to the Poconos in like
yeah,
in an hour and a half. It's so different.
exactly. I don't know, Boardwalk Empire comes to mind right now. It's such a
Yeah.
great show, but yeah.
So good, so good. Yeah, I miss that. I used to once in a while do some extra work on that as a police
Oh,
officer.
great.
So much fun. I did about 3 or 4 episodes, and oh
Yeah,
my gosh, it was so much fun.
I bet it was.
Love dressing up in the
That's what
outfits.
I'm thinking, right? All the and the sets and yeah.
I miss that. That was a lot of fun. So they got to get some of these old time like looking shows. I guess that Miss Maisel's being filmed. I guess in the New York, right? That they do the
You
old
know,
like 70s.
guess so. Yeah, yeah. It never occurred. I just always thought they shot it here on a soundstage, but I guess not. Yeah, it's pretty authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so well, it was great talking to you for a few
It was
minutes
great talking
here.
to you as well. It's nice to meet you. Nice
Yeah,
to put
nice to meet you too. Yeah, I got a
so
little. We're having a little audio crackle here or there, but hopefully it's not
eh,
too bad.
yeah, we'll deal
There's
with it.
a lot of storms going in between us. But no, it's great. I loved during the pandemic talking to people from LA and doing
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff like this is just I loved it. A lot of people like, yeah, we're not doing anything. We'll talk. We'll hang out.
Right. Yeah. Right. I think it connected us, more than anything because people weren't like really interested in doing the whole Zoom and video conferencing or whatever. And now it's
Yeah,
just like, I can do this from my home. Actually, this is pretty nice. Yeah.
that's great. Well, yeah, we're excited to show the film, and like I
Wonderful.
said, I love the micro shorts. They're one of my favorites. To be able to show a concept in a minute time and just like
Mm,
express your feelings and everything, and the
thank
art
you.
of film. So
Thank you. I wish I could be there, but the flights are ridiculous right now. I can't
ridiculous right now.
make
Yeah,
up for, yeah. So,
they are
but
ridiculous. But that's why I'm like, I got to do this at least for some people, right? To get,
I love that you
oh,
did this. Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem.
All
Great.
right. Well, until next time,
Yeah, yeah.
have a wonderful
Thanks.
festival.
Thank you. So, well, yeah, it's gonna be a long, fun day. So we're all excited. So you'll see. We'll be posting stuff all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I'll keep my eyes out.
Great.
I'll keep
Thanks
posted.
so much.
All right. Take care, Chris.
Thanks. Bye.